Okay, so what did we get?
We didn't get a rotated component matrix.
Only one component was extracted. The solution cannot be rotated. Okay, can't rotate one factor. And so what did we get? One. And so wait. All right. Yeah, hold a second. All right, so that's okay. We can read this one component. Its principal components is Fairmax rotation. These are actually the correlations of the one underlying construct with each of the items. Notice that nothing's lower than 0.5. So actually saying they're all together is fine. Did you earlier run Crumbbox alpha on this?
No. I got this far, and when I went to look for the rotated component matrix and I saw this message, I thought, I'm going to stop.
Okay, everyone, this is scaling method. So I'm going to say, okay, well, gee, looks like these would probably make one fine unidimensional scale. Let's run Crumbbox alpha and see. You all know how to hunt back to last year's course, right? So let's do that. How do you run Crumbbox alpha? Jim, this is all stuff we did last year. How do you run it? Was that what you said this morning?
That's what he said.
Yeah. Okay, Crumbbox alpha. Go ahead, Jessica. It's fine. I'm just. Yeah. Well, wait. We all have to.
Scale and reliability analysis.
Right. And so statistics, and I like these three up in the left corner. And continue. Why are we doing this?
Check reliability.
Right. Why do we check reliability?
Good question.
Because you said to.
Good question. Good question.
I said the sentence say it quietly.
Bad answer. Okay. All those bonus points she gained this morning.
There has to be a lunch cutoff.
No,
Well, because we think we're running one factor and we're trying to determine if that's really.
So we're at reliability, right?
Wait, I want my bonus point.
yeah, there you go.
No. Let's
Yeah,
go
or
back.
some would
That's the
say,
answer.
we want to make sure we're not trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. If it's really a really strong one scale set of data, why try to make it into more? And so that's what we're
0.89.
checking. Yeah, so it's 0.89, as high as I thought, actually. So,
But if you force it into two factors,
yeah, that's, and everyone hear what Barbara said? So my thinking right now is, oh, it's not 0.98 for reliability. And so, heck, let's go back to our original plan, which was, let's see what happens if we tell it to make two factors. Right. And by the way, this is 700 cases for only 9 items. So this is big data stuff we're doing right now. So how do we do that? Well, fixed number of factors 2.
And I changed nothing else,
Right.
right?
Correct. And so punches. Okay.
Factor analysis. You want the picture,
Right.
right?
You get a lot of that. Okay, there are pictures 2.
But there's only one.
Well, now we forced it to run.
Now we can rotate it. Okay. Does it make any sense to what we're doing? And notice down to here now is factor 1. Can everyone see that? Then it crosses over there.
No, they're all over the place.
No,
that's
they're
it.
not.
So 0.5, that's 575.
Okay, and so what's factor 2?
Will be the one these.
805, 77.
Okay. What are these factor 2 items? What
Just
are
to
the
see what the questions are.
I know. So what are the questions? Can someone read them to us who's familiar with the data? So
Well, it says curriculum prep, PDA.
So which question? There was sorry. On the screen.
It was
I closed
curriculum.
it because I thought we were done with that part.
No, the instrument was right.
okay. So
Here it is. So which were they that we are?
It was curriculum prep,
Curriculum.
PD something.
PDA access. And
I can't remember the other one. and ready
Ready
train.
training.
So
So how,
please write your initial ready. Okay.
Okay, so let's read them in order. I think curriculum prep was the strongest. Please rate how prepared you feel at this point to continue the implementation. Okay, how prepared are you to implement? So what's the next one? PD access. Rate how much access you have to the professional development you need for. And PD raw train. We'll.
Please rate the initial one-to-one training.
Okay, so
They both have to do with.
maybe they could all go together. Is that all right?
Yeah.
But wait a
I mean,
minute.
two of them seem to.
Since we have no rationale for running 2 versus 3 versus 4 versus 5, we'll keep going. And don't copy them all until we decide we're going to keep
Well,
it.
what I was interested in seeing.
she wanted to see with the color coding to see if there was anything that came out.
If they came together. I'd like to see if it met their original.
Okay, because the curriculum prep, they're, two of them are green and one is yellow. And I just said those two should go together. I just
Yeah,
said
but
that.
wait, if we follow your rationale, Barbara, we have to force a 3-factor solution.
That's
because
true.
that was their basis.
I'm
So
sorry.
we're premature on that.
Okay.
Okay, so next is 3 factors. Everybody okay? And then we'll run that and see how it comes out. And if you remember, why are we doing 2, 3, 4, and 5? Well, it's because they were basically all on plateau at the same line. And
So this is 3. There's 3 plot.
it's still the same. It doesn't
Yeah,
change.
I don't think it's changed materials at all. Here's the rotated
Okay,
component
stop.
matrix.
Stuff there. So now we have curriculum instruction RDY, and notice down here. So now we have 3 in factor 1. How many do we have in factor 2?
Let's look.
4.
4 in factor
Oh,
2.
wait, 4?
And then
Two.
2 tech support and crew tech.
Well, this one here, 2 and 3 is not. I mean, I understand 5 is the cutoff, but there's some that could go one way or the other.
Right. And so now in 3 factors, did they come out exactly like the projection or not? I don't know. If they did.
Possibly faster. That's it. Those are the 3, but now let's take a look and see.
Yeah, so hold before you go away from this, please.
Wait, don't go away.
Yeah, like here, I'm thinking maybe these two kinds of things sound like they might be the same. Are they?
Tech support and the crew tech, the two, those two.
They just both have tech in them, I thought.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
So tech support is, please rate how much, and the other one was crew tech. Please
Or
rate how
crucial
critical. or
My
the-
tech has been supported.
They're both yellow. What is bridge and training?
They're both
Yellow.
about technical support. They're both about the tech part of it, not just. Not
Yeah, so hey, we got a little bit of a nibble there. We have 2 yellows, right?
And we had 2 greens previously.
the two green, yeah, but there's only 2 in those
this-
last, that construct, there's only 2. Okay, you're driving me crazy.
Well, I'm trying to.
I'm sorry, but.
I'm trying to see if there's anything that pops out.
Yeah, I was looking for the bark bags. They're.
So yeah, they're both having to do with technical.
Okay, so let's just keep on this path for a little while. Run it for 4, run it for 5, is that okay? And then what we were guessing is that when we get to 5, that maybe there will be several that stick together.
For
And then
9
several
questions.
smaller pods.
For, wait,
4 factors for 9 questions.
Well, the question is, were there intentionally several constructs put in there because even one question was important?
Because this is probably reinforces your point, because now if we've divided 9 by 4, there's not enough
Well, yeah,
questions to
but
validate any particular.
this was, I don't know for sure, but I would guess this is probably sent by the administration to gauge,
Right.
feedback from the populace as far as what they got out of the training. So
Yeah, I mean, I can
to sort of-
understand that perspective. They just wanted a general feel, but now that we're
And I think to your point, the difference between a survey and a measurement instrument.
Right.
This was
So-
administratively driven.
So Mark, what we're doing is pulling apart a little bit to see, maybe there's some of both among these 9 items.
I don't think we're pulling it apart. I think we're shredding, atomizing it.
No, I understand, but hold on to that when we go to cluster analysis.
But look at it from the different perspective, is how valid is the instrument itself just to answer the questions they want to get answered. They're asking only the questions that they want to ask, and they're only going to get a certain kind of answer for that, as opposed to expanding the numbers of questions for that particular idea or construct, as we're saying, to really get a good picture of what they really want to know. So I don't really see the difference. It's just, not a well-constructed
Well, I
survey
think
to get the.
It's a contextual. The administration just wants a touchy-feely kind of
Yeah.
thing, and we're
Well,
looking
but
at it.
they're not really going to get the answer, the
Yeah,
real
we're
answers
looking at
they
a
want.
research level. For, okay, what type of construct we have to do?
Yeah.
Okay, he's done with this conversation.
Yeah. Your arguments are good, but let's
But
Into this class.
let's stop. They're premature. And so you haven't looked at it 15 ways yet. And so the problem is when you look at it one way,
it's a Paul Simon song. 50 ways to look at your data.
Yeah, now, there was a question about screen plot. So, Ron, do you mind going back to the screen plot?
I just had a question about the screen plot. When I look at the screen plot, I first assumed that you would want 2 factors or 6 factors and 4 to 5.
Right.
So my question is it just the eigenvalue of 1 or
the drop off.
Right,
Like
and
little
so I
plateau.
count, there's 1 factor up there stuck up on the cliff. And 2, 3, 4, 5. This one looks like to me it's in the same line with all the rest of them, which is not adding anything meaningful. So that's why it's not 6, but 5. Why is it 2 or 5? Well, it's because basically these are all on the same plateau. But there may be separations that for people who really know the items and where they came from that are meaningful in these iterative pulling them apart. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Presentation.
Yeah,
I'm
is
sure, I
she going
understand.
right now?
Yeah, whoever needs to go, go ahead. Yeah, and we'll continue on if that's okay.
Yes.
Right, and,
Okay.
Do we want to
so
go to
what
5?
factor are we?
Yeah, I think you wanted me to go through 5.
Go
just
to
Yeah, but
5.
where are we right now?
We're at
There.
4. And
Right.
this is what it looked
So at 4, sure, yeah. And I understand that any of you don't feel like you have to leave either. That's what this is for. And everybody, please understand, I'm running it by the numbers because I don't have any clue.
like.
what
With the
is.
data, all right.
Right. And so, okay, with 4, now, hold a moment. So I want to ask all of you who know instructional support. This is coming to be unique compared to all of the others. Does it make sense across the 9 items? I guess that's what.
Oh,
Can somebody else pull up the survey on another machine? Do you have it? It's just really starting to make me thirsty.
Oh, sorry.
There you are.
all this paint and colors.
The survey.
It was,
Well, I have that in Word. What's the question that we're trying to answer?
What is instructional support?
which one was, yeah, instructional support, but maybe your
It's your
Excel, your
Excel.
code book. Oh, there we go.
Was help present when you needed it?
Is that different from all the other questions in your?
But, okay, no, because look at the question underneath, please write how, oh, that's,
Hold a second. I think Doug is saying, no, that's not the item.
I think you're looking at which specific
Please rate how much access you had to instructional support you need at your campus to effectively. That was the full question.
Okay,
Okay.
stop right there. All right, because now, Kyle, across this, is it really unique instructional support compared to the others?
No,
There's
because
an
it's an access question. It's
Okay, so Ron, don't click there, but in your original set, what color was it?
I have to look. That's here. It was blue.
All right, stop there for a moment. Okay, so this is claimed to be a blue item. And
Because it had the word instructional in it. That's why it was coded by us as blue.
Yeah, but hold, everybody hold, just think for a moment rather than just look at the numbers. Please rate how critical the role of one-to-one is. Well, that's not instructional support. That's a different concept. So even though they're both blue, I'm now starting to be convinced that it makes sense for instructional support. As a teacher, please rate now instrumental in the ready one-to-one coaches for effective transition. That's not instructional support. Please rate your campus ready one-to-one coach. Well, maybe that's support, but usually when we say instructional support, don't we mean things like infrastructure and if your computer's broken and things like that?
Like,
Is that what, who took these items? Who were they?
Teachers.
Teachers, faculty?
High school teachers.
Okay, high
Yeah.
school teachers. Thank
In
you.
various departments, right?
Right.
Because they.
And then please check areas where we'd like to see additional support to be successful.
That's not part of this. The additional support's not part of in the.
Oh, we didn't factor in lots of, okay.
Right.
So here's what I'm seeing in the data. Probably pulling it apart is starting to give more sensible meaning to how I look at these items.
This was a breakdown by the faculty by department and campus. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
career, English, language arts, languages other than English, math.
Sure. Yeah, so they're from everywhere, and that's fine. My point, though, is in this four-factor solution, that it looks like instructional support has finally popped out on its own. So let's run it for 5 and see what else pops out. Probably there's going to be at least one more that comes out to be on its own. And so we're going to run 5. And by the way, we can keep running this out in this case because we have 700 subjects. It's actually a very rich data set where you could really drill down.
So here's the screen plot. It, to my eye, hasn't materially changed shape.
No, the screen plot won't change. It'll stay the same. All we're changing is whether we made the cut at the first dot or the second or the third or the
okay,
fourth.
this is where you're driving us crazy.
All right, so then give me a minute, don't look, and then it'll all be color coded and you can go from there.
Okay, so just to explain, and we'll look next time when we run 5, that first table that comes out of exploratory factor analysis, it never changes, no matter how many factors you extract. It actually tells you all the information that produces a screen plot, no matter whether you tell it to stop at 2 or go all the way to 9, that it'll be there in the opening table.
So that
And
makes
so there you go.
5.
If you were in an educational research department, you would be required to post that first table because you only do it once. That table makes the screen plot. They never change, no matter how many factors you tell it to extract. So now curriculum prep is by itself in a strong loader at 0.9. Here's what I see. We finally have mostly a clean solution. The only really bad one is here. And how am I calling it clean? Well, it's because in the factor where they're identified, they're pretty strong. And for all other factors in general, they're pretty weak.
So what you're saying is, for example, this is a 0.8, and then nothing else is even
Close to
0.4.
0.8.
This is
Or the loading of this item on any other factor. That's exactly what we're talking about. Now, it's still not completely clean. This one's dirty.
the 0.6 and the 0.69.
Yeah, I mean, these two are, this is still a cross-loader. This one's a cross-loader. But there are very few. In fact, if you'll just run this one more time, and we'll up the blot out level since we have 700 subjects. Let's make it 0.3. The because beyond, we don't teach this in this course, but a significant correlation if you have 100 subjects is about 0.3. That's why we're overly conservative when we use 0.5 as the loader. But since we have 700 subjects, we're really conservative, even if we call it 0.3. Everybody okay? So what we're going to do is, it's on there. No, not fixed. No. Leave it 5. It's the other one where it's extraction, I guess, is it?
That's where we were.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's something else where we suppress small. Must be under options.
Yes, you're right, it's under option.
Okay, stop. Okay, click that. Suppress small coefficients. Do that. Click it back again.
Click.
But change that to 0.3.
Oh, I
So
misunderstood.
to
what
blot
you were
out
saying.
everything that's not stronger than 0.3, and then we'll just run this one more time. And I'll show you that it cleans it up quite a bit. I hope if you'll scroll on down. As far as the rotated factor matrix is what we're, okay, stop right there. Rotated component matrix. Now, this looks like what we would call a clean structure. And we wouldn't get to this until we stretched it out to 5. So, so far, I would say we stop at 5. And it's just because of this picture. Now, actually, you can tell that if we upped it to 0.5, what I said was a real thumb cutoff, we will get rid of all of them except, well, we still won't. So
Yeah, that one's gonna stay dirty.
But in any case, if this were my data and I were evaluator, I would show them this loading structure when I was trying to explain to the school board.
And
While
that
we're
tech
looking-
support one, please rate how much access you had to the technical support you needed. And if one possible explanation for why it's dirty is some respondents may have answered access, others may have answered quality of the technical support.
Sure. And actually, we'll explore that in just a moment. So everybody okay? So it looks like 5 factors, but let's now try to name them. And looking at this, notice in this case, it's crew, instructional, party coach, rate coach. They're the first factor, right?
Yes.
And then it jumps over to here.
So the coaches drive the first one.
Well, tell us why. Who knows these items in the data well? Where did they come from?
Bonnie.
Bonnie knows.
Okay.
So
Okay, but then we'll go back to this point. The color.
oh, I'm sorry.
So point to those 3. Remember it was crew instruction, wasn't it? Or what was the first one? There were 2 coaches.
So I'm trying to get to make it.
Yeah, just this screen is fine, and I know you're trying to show them rotated.
Right. So crew instruct is here.
Okay, once it that, please rate how critical 1-to-1 is.
The one-to-one coach
Yeah, the coach is. What's the next one?
to
Ready
support
coach.
the instructional thing. Okay.
And the ready coach.
Ready coach is here as a teacher. Please rate how instrumental the
And then
coach.
rate coach. Okay. So Sheila just answered my question in my head for me when she read the first item. Item 1 is really about coaching. So these are all about coaching. So this is one construct. I bet you it will make one fine scale, one fine measurement ruler, one fine instrument. If we wanted to check it, we'd go back and run COMBOX alpha on those 3, because 3 items would be sort of the minimum acceptable to make a measurement scale, like we talked about this morning. Everybody okay? Well, that's fine. Looks like we have at least one scale in here probably. So let's just go run COMBOX alpha on these 3 and reassure ourselves that we'll call something out of this data a measurement scale. Because everything else only had 2 that loaded together at the most, right?
So you're saying the most valid, the most important information is the coaching part, not the
What's the only,
accessibility to tech support.
it's only grouping that has enough substance to build a rule, right?
Right.
Okay.
And so
Right,
this
right.
is probably a very fine questionnaire survey instrument, and it contains one psychometric measurement scale. maybe more, but one scale that we can verify as being a quality ruler. Okay? Now, you can run Combox out on 2 if you want, and that'll be okay too.
So, but we did those 3,
Yeah, so these 3,
and it's a 7.
yeah,
Oh, no,
0.87,
0.8,
so it's good. You know, very good. Okay? So in a moment, not next moment, but you guys would go home and make a ruler out of these 3 and use that for some further parts. But right now, we're just moving on to exploring the items. So factor analysis tells me there are 5 constructs among these 9 items, and one of them is represented strongly enough that we can check its properties as a psychometric ruler. Just to show you, you can do it. Run these 2.
Sorry, which 2 were you playing?
Construct and
Crew
text,
tech,
or
crew
crew
tech
tech.
support. Yeah,
You want
probably
Chromebox
Combox Alpha will be very high on this. It'll run. It's just arguable about whether that's what Chromebox Alpha was meant for or not. It's the 2 with tech in it, right?
It's crew tech and tech support.
Right.
Crew tech, tech stuff.
Okay. Okay, so we got 0.79. It's fine too. Probably fine too. So, why are we doing this? Because I'm now convinced there are 3 rulers in this data that could be built. I mean, not yet. I would run the other 2 items. But if so, then add another item or 2 or 3 in each of these 3 categories. Do you 2 agree that this is measuring something different than coaching? What is it that we're measuring among these 2?
Well, this is more the tech support part after the implementation of the coaching.
The first one was the coaching unit.
Right. The first one was coaching.
Okay, so
The
these
second one
both-
is support. Something isn't working the way I expect it to. I need help.
Right.
Not I need help to use the tool in the class.
Okay, so I'm quite certain that you could pump these up, and make 3 fine measurement scales. We haven't looked at what this is, but I bet you it's about, I don't know, maybe let's try this. Training and access, does that go together? It seems weird, but. And the question in my mind is,
Ready, train, and
These could both be PD related.
okay, and
this is 7.
yeah, it's okay. It's acceptable.
Can we
All
see
right.
what those 2 questions
Yeah,
are?
so my worry right now is I'm not so sure that in my head these 2 items stick together.
Okay, so ready, train, and PD access. So those were about,
Ready train, please rate how the initial ready one-to-one training for summer.
so that was both professional development, basically,
And where is the access one? Is that it?
and that's professional
Yeah,
development.
so Ron, I would say is right. These are all both about professional development.
Yeah.
So you have 3 constructs in here that can certainly be
Said I was right.
pumped up into scales.
Do you think those 2 questions are almost the same? I mean, one is just asking about summer professional development, and the other one was how much professional development do you need effectively? So
That may
They're
speak to
almost-
the administrator's perspective that they wanted to know, well, we did this in the summer, was it worthwhile versus we did this during the school year?
Yeah.
Are you trying to differentiate with, because you got one that says as a teacher, who's
We didn't write them, we don't know what they're.
So as a
great?
teacher.
I'm just trying to understand.
well, okay,
how you
because that
differentiate.
okay, the one that says as a teacher, it's asking about the ready coach. So there's a coach, which is different than general professional development, I would assume.
And I'm not certain if it was the coaches who conducted the PD. As I understood it, there was a team that conducted the PD.
Right.
Subsequently, there was a distributed
Right.
single point of contact on each campus who functioned as a coach.
Right.
One question on evaluation versus the other. It's more about
And so all of these questions still remain in our minds. But right now I'm done with factor analysis in my head. So let's go check them from a couple of more perspectives and see if the questions you raise actually might pop out there again.
Well, and
so
not only
if
that,
you
we did the
can
reliability analysis too.
a lot of attention to it.
Okay.
So everybody understands if we pump this up. I mean, 2R, probably it's worthwhile, 2R over 1 plus R. So 1 plus R is going to be 1.71 as a denominator. Anybody have your calculator out on your iPhone? 2 times R is 1.42. Can somebody divide 1.42 divided by 1.71? Yeah, Doug thinks we'll see.
0.83.
Okay,
Good.
so if you, in theory, if you increase the number of items in this scale from 2 to 4, we would pump it up from 0.71 to 0.83, which would put it in the good range. Are y'all with me? Practically speaking, if you did this again. Okay, so back to the drawing board. Now, this is one view from factor analysis. What do we do next?
This finished the last class. Now we're in the new class, right?
Yeah, but it's the first analysis of the new class. So now we go to hierarchical cluster analysis. Let's see what we find there. So it's under, I think it's under scale, isn't it? Classify, sorry.
Classification. Hierarchy.
Yeah, hierarchical cluster.
I'm going slowly for my video to catch up.
Sure.
Make a point.
And we're going to put all those items in there again. And we're going to cluster variables. And it's under, I think, plots that we want to change to the dendrogram.
You need to go to horizontal for your orientation.
Yeah, horizontal. Continue.
I'm gonna go
Is it-
downstairs, but I got my plug.
Will do. And are all of you supposed to be somewhere right now?
Right here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just wanted to see.
Of course, yeah. Good luck to her.
And we're okay on the methods. We didn't
Yeah.
change anything there.
Interval, square Euclidean distance between group linkages, that all looks good. So continue.
Punching.
And go down to
Scroll down
bottom.
to yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this picture, because in this kind of environment, quite often the dendrogram tells you more than
I'll get out of it. There we go.
okay. So notice that with those two rate coach and
Rate coach.
instructional support, they're very close to each other. Were they in the same factor? I don't remember. And then also, remember this crew instruction and ready coach?
I can show you the factors.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to see?
Yeah, that's fine. Everybody, let's stop right there, Ron. This is perfect. Okay, so a couple of things that were close together here. I remember tech and tech were together in our solution.
Yeah, and they are here as well.
And tech are right here together. So that's just one place I'm starting. Crew instruction and ready coach. Crew instruction and ready coach is here, and actually rate coach was thrown in there too. And so where is rate coach?
Up.
Rate coach is up there with instructional support, so that's a little different. But notice instructional support we decided was all on its own as a dimension. Everyone see that up at the top? Instructional support and rate coach. So the picture, a lot of it's the same, some of it's different. Do you all agree?
Yes.
And so,
I guess I'm flummoxed by instruction support and rate coach being grouped together
On the dendrogram, it's so different.
on the rotated component.
oh, I'm not surprised at all. I don't know what coach rate means. Yes, Jim?
I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't even catch up, but the numbers at the top, how do they correlate? What do they mean? As far as like
Rate coach and
like the 5, the 10, and the 15, and 20, where these go, like, for let's say number 6 comes here out to number 5, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, well, without going through the algebra, just split it for a moment. See where it says rescale distance cluster combine up at the top? So what it's doing really is, if you calculate Pearson product moment correlations between all of these, like 4 and 9 are the strongest because the link between them is the shortest.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so I don't know what it is. It might be 0.5,
Got
it might be 0.9. We can't tell from here.
I'm
because
sorry.
it's rescaled. So it just takes the strongest link over here, and then all the way out here to the weakest link. The weakest correlation over here is at that level. And so then you rescale it on a scale of 0 to 100. And I don't emphasize it too much because we're not really dealing with how strong is strong.
Okay.
What we're doing is relative strengths or lengths of these streams. And so if you scroll down a little bit, I was worried about this one on the bottom, like ready train. But let me get to the question about rate coach versus instructional support. I'm not surprised to see that at all if we read these. The rate coach was,
You want instructional support is here. Please rate how much access you have to instructional support.
right, the support you need on your campus, okay.
And rate coach, please rate how your campus-ready one-to-one coach supported the use of iPads in
Right.
instruction.
So basically, the people that are happy campers are going to rate high for their coaches and their instructional support. The people that are disgruntled are going to rate low on both of them.
So it pairs those.
So it pairs those two together because they're correlated. Even if I hate the support, my pattern's going to be the same as if you love the support. And so it's a really good question. So those are on two different dimensions, but yet they cluster together. So, but I mean, for me, when I saw that, oh, that makes sense. Because if I'm Peachy King with my one-to-one,
You're okay.
I'm going to have to be okay with both of them.
Let's notice too, they're all fairly well grouped, except for the outlier at the bottom.
Right. Yeah, Kyle, can you say that more loudly,
No,
just so
just
it'll
that
be on tape?
they're all fairly well grouped, except for the outlier, ready train at the bottom.
Right.
Then maybe curriculum prep. That one seems a little off as well, but the rest of them are clustered together fairly well, it seems.
Correct. And in fact, if we were going to drill down more on this, and we could try it, you might just take ready train out. I don't know what ready train was. Let's read it before we do. But if we ran this with ready train out of the equation, you would see it spreads things out a lot more. Please rate how the initial ready training for summer supported use.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the only question that has the word initial in it.
Right. So apparently they had a kickoff training, and this is about an evaluation of just one event. Everything else is about the whole initiative. And so, just for a moment, let's rerun this thing, but take that one out.
Okay, so I'm taking out ready train. That here, analyze, classify, hire.
And now you just sort of take out ready training.
And then change nothing else.
Right, and just see if it gives you a very different picture. And
Now there's a new one that's.
But it's the
out.
same one that was.
oh no, yeah, no, but actually it did the same. It just upped curriculum prep to the higher weird notch.
Yeah.
Different notch. So successively we've done that. We just peeled the top cluster off the top, and everything else kind of stayed the same, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So we're okay with that. Now, so what does this one with the ready train in there tell us, if anything?
This is the one with ready train in it.
Okay, so one thing we found, I would put in the paper, from hierarchical cluster analysis compared to factor analysis is just what Kyle said. We actually identified, why is ready train way out there on the fringe? Well, the answer, if you read it, is because it was just about one event. Everything else is about the initiative.
Ah,
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
it's the only one, I think, It has the word
And
initial.
so I can see where I could take the initiative and go, well, actually, they did a good job on that day training us.
Yeah.
You know, or vice versa. Maybe it was awful because the Wi-Fi didn't work.
So it's going to be a
Even
very
though
polarizing question. Either
Yeah,
all or
yeah.
nothing.
These are actually in two different universes we were talking about. They don't belong together in the same scale. Not to say they don't belong in the same questionnaire, but they don't belong in the same scale.
I see.
Everybody okay?
Yes.
So we were talking at lunch about where they were. Let's see, what was their data about? Somebody can remind me.
Library services.
Right,
Yeah.
library services, and if the other half of the questionnaire said, how often do you go to the library? Is it easy parking? Stuff like that. Those are two different universes, domains we call them now, even though they both have the name library in them. There's no way you would factor analyze that stuff together.
So when
You
we
should not.
categorized these based on our colors, it was naively just by the words, technical, instructional, or professional development. That was our,
Right, and this
Our,
might
I mean,
be
our analysis is telling us something else.
right,
Yeah.
and this is the core of at least one of your papers. Whoever thought these three should be there, I would suggest.
So
I
you
mean,
could.
this is
okay.
one very good use for scaling methods. I mean, do the numbers come out the way you thought they would as far as dividing them up? The answer is no.
So you can say what your initial presuppositions are, and then suddenly, like, what your analysis tells you later. Is
Yeah,
that-
exactly. And yeah, and so yeah, enough said.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the
this
next
is the
step,
last one, right?
multidimensional scaling, and see if we get.
This is the one.
And I guess we're still recording here. I'll check.
I think so. She said
Good,
it was
good,
still
good.
running.
Yeah, because we're right. Okay.
Multi-dimensional scaling, you want
Right.
the Al scale, right?
Yeah, let's use. Okay, notice that Ron's system has three other options.
Mine did too.
Yeah,
it
it depends on which stat pack you bought, what level. And so go ahead and try all scale. And I'll just say that if all scale doesn't run, try proc scale
Okay.
next, because it will substitute values when all scale won't.
And which,
We're gonna put all of them in that we used, including the one that
Even
we
the
saw.
one that are
Yeah,
outliers.
even the one that we
Right.
suspect already trained to be an outlier.
yeah, but don't worry because we also
Model
included.
stays this way.
Well, we're gonna make it interval, and just leave it 2 and 2 for right now, just the two-dimensional solution. And